This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every.
There we go. Holy fuck, that just spiked my entire microphone.
Yeah.
Let's turn that down just a her.
Maybe a little more than that.
Hello, 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 hello.
More than that.
I'll do some adjustment over here. Is that better?
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
I turned up just a bit because the game volume is going to be a little loud.
Hello, hello, hello. That's getting close to peaking. Hello, 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 hello. There we go.
That works.
That works.
Now is the sound coming through the right thing?
Did you seriously
Yeah, I put Kappa.
put a Kappa face?
Yeah, I put Kappa. I Kappa you. You've been Kappa'd. Now, is it gonna play through the beans?
Year.
Yes.
And although
Yes,
others
there we
might have
go.
considered it soul
Welcome back to Stanley Parable.
relished every moment that the
Ooh.
orders
I
came
put this in
in,
the wrong here.
as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
And Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
The Stanley Parable.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions,
Sorry.
call a meeting,
My leg's in the
or
way. I have
even
big
say
leggies.
hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
Do you want to redo the intro for
Something
YouTube?
was very
We
clearly
can.
wrong.
It's one
Shocked, frozen
Fuck.
solid, Stanley found
Okay,
himself
I'll just
unable to
cut that
move
part
for
out.
the
Okay.
longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Welcome back. I got achievements.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, you got
No
upgraded.
matter
You
how
got
hard
blue
Stanley
now.
looked,
Look at
he
you.
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Get well someday. Figurine finders. Be my Valentine.
Are you ignoring the titular character in this room?
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt
I need
away
my bucket.
as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Okay, maybe I need to lower my chair just a hair.
Now you're even shorter.
I'm closer to my home.
Hell. Does that mean I'm closer to heaven? Because that can't be fucking right.
Opposites attract.
I guess that's fair.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
That's why me and my ex-wife didn't get along. She's from hell too.
Yeah, she's like an upper commander in hell. You're just like
This
some
was
guy
not
that
the correct
randomly
way to
walked
the
down
meeting
there.
room, but Stanley had felt the bucket
It's
calling
like
to him,
Florida.
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
It's a
Yes, Stanley
fantastic
thought to
room.
himself.
Didn't
Yes,
the
perhaps
poster
it
say
truly
that there was
was.
a figure
How
finder thing in the
insightful
meeting
the
room?
bucket turned out to be.
Yeah, we already looked at it.
Oh yeah, we did last time.
We got all the figurines.
No, we didn't get all of them.
No,
Figurine?
never mind.
We didn't
The
get all.
bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to
Oh,
go
that's right.
back
I
to
need
the
a
meeting
fucking.
room,
I need this.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room.
There's
Go
a
somewhere
figurine
else.
right there.
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
No. I want a figurine.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Figler anurines.
I think
Figure anal reens.
I think the narrator just had a fucking aneurysm.
Yeah, maybe.
Hold on.
What's up? What's up, my dude?
The freaking game volume is just a touch louder than we are. There we go. Much better when the narrator's talking.
Well, we need to turn ours up a little bit because even the walking, we're quieter than the walking.
Except when we talk.
No, even when we talk, the walking is a little louder.
Not really. Because that's right there, and we're right here. What the fuck is this?
Cool.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
Bucket.
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's
Just watch the
always
buckets like
the
laced with opiates or
same
something.
Feeling.
It's a heroin bucket.
Emptiness in my
It's just
chest
filled with cocaine.
when
No,
I set
no.
it
Heroin and cocaine are not the same thing.
I don't know drugs, Vance.
make sense. There's no explanation for it.
Health class failed you.
Still haven't figured out
so
why
elegant.
I see
So
the world
refined.
so
She's like, I'm sitting in the
differently when this
She's
bucket
chilling. She's
is
vibing.
in my arms.
That's fine. She can vibe.
Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
Fuck it.
I can
Fuck the bucket.
monetize
Fuck it and then monetize it once it's filled with jizz.
A bucket
Recreate-
of jizz.
Recreate the Rainbow Dash My Little Pony jar picture.
Money people
but with the
will
bucket.
pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This,
People will
It's
last
my
an
golden
hour with the
ticket.
bucket.
What? in
but I
the-
have to be careful because as soon as this gets out,
I mean,
there's
I'd
gonna
probably
be a
last 5
target
minutes
on
with the
my
bucket, let's be honest.
back.
If I was a
Even
dude, I'd be
though
called
I
a
don't know
one
who
pump
I'll be
chump.
trying to get.
Ow, I just kicked.
What's
I just
that?
kicked Greg. I apologize. Greg, no!
Who's that?
Greg, I'm sorry! Greg!
Greg, go home.
Greg, you're wrong.
Greg is my automatic vacuum.
Yes. And I keep accidentally kicking him.
He has googly eyes on him.
He's very cute.
And Alfred is my one for the porch.
Did we just miss the whole, like, Cthulhian-esque monologue?
I think so.
Yeah.
Talking about Greg. 'Cause Greg's cool.
Greg is the worst eldritch horror, right? We just don't realize it yet. Him going around in circles in the living room isn't him, you know, just being dumb.
I should have named him Jim.
Jim! That would have been funny.
Jim.
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 Jim can be his middle name.
Gregory Jimmer.
Gregathy, Jimothy the third.
Gregory Jimothy the Third.
Goofs a lot.
I've already got that ending. I don't need that.
Warmth
take
Wait, I have an idea. Can you go
through
back?
Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms
One of
again,
those
he
desks
was
in the
home.
first room, you can glitch up onto it and then go out the window. I think it's through that chair right there.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers
There you
really
go.
all be gone?
Oh.
Yes,
Whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
we've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true
This is
self.
a dragon
The
with a
bucket
giant
began to
fucking
tell
cock.
Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of
This
inspiration
guy should do
begins to
audiobooks.
dim.
You
The
know?
opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps.
like Jim
The bucket
Dale,
wondered
but
to
he's
itself.
not.
Perhaps
Yeah, Jim Dale
if
did
it
the
had
Harry
seen
Potter
its own
audiobook.
darkness
Yeah, I know.
with a clearer perception.
I used to listen
This
to them
was
to go to
way
sleep.
too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
Harry
He
Potter
screamed.
in the
You're a
Sorcerer's Stone.
bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
Do
Oh,
buckets
no.
have
Said the
brows?
bucket.
I want to see an animation
since
where
the
like they
evil
actually make the
wizard
bucket a
Gamma
character,
Horata
right?
first
That has like
enslaved
brows
me
and
in
actually
imagination
talks.
of
I would love to
for
see
the
that on
secret
TikTok. If
amulet
someone
I
could send that to
stole
us,
from
that would be
his
great.
treasure vaults.
That would be
I was
fantastic.
young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of. No!
Stanley screamed even louder.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its
Fucking
true form,
Pew was like, "This is such
transforming
a
into a mighty
weird-ass
beast
game."
of untold power, its fangs glistening like
The bucket is the bucket is the dragon from Revelation. You know, like in Revelation, they talk about this.
I killed the bucket!
It's bleeding.
Oh, my, why is it
This is
bleeding?
ter- It was filled with red
God,
paint,
you
Vance.
already
There
had
was
all
red paint
12
underneath. You couldn't
emblems
see
of
it. There was
sages
red paint
and
underneath.
used incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've
There's just
demonstrated
red
such
paint in the
bravery
bottom
here
third of
today.
it we couldn't
Come,
see.
let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket,
But we
nor
like the bucket.
dark magic
We like
cast away
fucking the bucket.
inside of it.
Hi, Anne.
All of his
Hey.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Do you want to show Stream your
Stanley
beautiful
decided
face?
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
What?
missed a
What's-
memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
She's being a bitch.
Let's see. What is it like without the bucket?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit.
Baby.
Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable
You're
to
done with
act
my
on your
shit,
own
I know.
desires
Okay, there you
to
go.
restart the game. So,
like,
just
"Mom,
to push
you're
the
an
envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as
I wanted to show
possible
chat.
and see how long you can maintain.
Okay.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the
So
truth
manly.
must be
Oh
told,
man,
he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly.
Is he describing
What
Zane?
Stanley liked most was buttons.
Zane's hella gangly.
Push them like
And not
some
very
kind
old.
of
No.
glutton.
He's the Same age as me, but he feels way younger.
In a meaningful way, but his brain
Which is
had long
ironic because
ceased
I'm
to
6 years older
function.
than Zane.
Which is why he is in this parable.
Yikes.
And lives
My grandparents
in
were 17 years apart. It's not that bad.
And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too
That was
will
before
become quite unbearable.
certain laws prohibiting that.
You too will become.
Well, I think they
quite
didn't officially start dating until she was 18. But yes, they were 17 when he met her. It's a cute love story. Just ignore the fact that, you know, they're 17 years apart. But they've had a very happy marriage.
No, that's good. It can work.
Is there anything else you can click or do in here?
No, he wants me to restart the game. I'm trying to wait him out.
Yeah. He'll probably just be like, fuck you, we're gonna restart. This is very chill music.
It is.
I forgot that my Instagram automatically posts to my Facebook. So I posted a bunch of cat pictures on Instagram, and so now everyone is like, "You have a cat?" Yeah,
have a
yes,
cat?
I have a cat. I have a cat.
It's a cute cat.
It's a very.
Why
cute
do you
cat.
think there's so many cat things on the wedding registry?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that explains why there's a window hammock. All right.
And a giant cat tower for $40.
What do you think I'm gonna do with it?
You think the children are small enough and dexterous enough to be able to play in there like a cat? I mean, Sawyer would probably be more likely to topple it over than actually climb on it,
The
right?
music went away.
Oh no. Can you just keep wandering out into the whiteness forever?
No, there's a wall. He wants me to restart the game, doesn't he?
No, we can keep going. No, we can wait. We can be patient, right? Can we?
I'm very ADHD, and this is getting very boring very fast. Hello?
Hello?
Ooh.
Is it me you're looking for?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright. Somewhere both red and blue.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you could
Get some
guarantee
more.
you'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
You're the god of this world, right? You can make more stickers. Just get the duct tape that's out of the
Coming
corner
to
in a Sharpie.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Does the bucket change this? Did you get the elevator ending? I love the elevator ending.
Have you done the trapped ending?
Yes, I don't actually. Maybe not with the bucket.
Stepping into his manager's office,
You're supposed
Stanley
to back
was
up
once
just
again
as the doors were closing, so you'd be
stunned
trapped.
to discover not an indication of
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I've even done that in the
Oh, you
original.
haven't done that in the original? It's pretty
Stanley
cool.
may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
2,
Even
8,
now, in his darkest of
4,
hours, did the
5.
bucket's warmth and but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew
It's
already?
so fucking
Was
dark
the
in
bucket
here.
guiding
Did
him?
we do the number ending yet?
Yes. This is certainly the most
The
logical
number ending.
explanation.
I don't think we did. So you know how we went up the elevator again without the bucket?
Yes, we should do that here.
Yes. The bucket. The thing is, I think this is a long-winded reference to the
elevator raced
TF2
downward, plummeting
videos.
towards
Do you
an
remember?
unknown fate.
Like, this
It would
is
be
a
all
bucket.
Stanley could do
Dear
to
God,
pull himself
there's
together,
more.
if not
No! Like,
soothing him,
those really
comforting
funny
him,
TF2
reassuring that in
animations.
this darkest moment of uncertainty, he
Like, I
would
feel like
be
it's a
right.
long reference to
The
that.
bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Nope, I'm gonna go back. Right back up.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
No, it wants you to click number 3.
Number 3, my lord.
Number 3! Number 3, my lord!
Pick number 3, my lord.
Here we are. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to
Hold on.
Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the
369.
bucket. How was this not as exciting
What
to
the
the bucket as it was to him?
Did something just
Once
push me out of
Stanley
the
had had
fucking
enough of
way?
the number
I
3,
don't know.
he got back in the elevator.
I'm freaking creeped out now. Nope. I'm gonna go back down.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Maybe the bucket didn't see enough of the number 3. You know?
Maybe.
Maybe it needs to
try it
see
again.
more. Yeah. It needs to see more of it.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing. Number 3.
Number 3, my lord. I'm gonna just keep saying
Pick
that.
number 3, my lord.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3
Pick number
and
3, my
began to
lord.
wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a tuba. He told stories through the number 3,
Trace,
stories of his dreams and
trace.
hopes and fears. And the whole
3,
time,
3, 3,
he looked to his bucket
3.
for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all. Only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Okay.
I can't see shit. I can see more on the fucking stream screen than I can on my fucking home.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator.
How did he not
He
know?
knew that there must be a
so
way to get
important.
through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend.
Yeah, you stick
Surely
your
there
dick
was
in
a
him and then
solution,
say what you
mustn't
want to
there
say.
be?
That's how you get women to listen.
Holy
Bad joke.
shit.
Bad
No!
joke.
No!
Bad joke. my attention when I first wake up in the morning because I'm not a morning person. You have to go to Jurassic Measures to get me to listen to you in the morning.
Jurassic Measures.
I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate
You know, if you rotate
fully
3,
on what the
it looks like
number 3
either a
meant
butt
to
or a
him,
ball
and
sack.
why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the
Have I
bucket
changed
would
your
be
world?
able to see his joy through the eyes of others.
I mean, you're not
It would
fucking
get to see the
wrong.
way we react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
We're gonna host a TED Talk about the number 3.
For months, he advertised and
All
marketed
eyes
his
on
press conference,
Stanley.
building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
There's
that
a
the
mouse.
Minecraft door?
There's a mouse.
Oh, I thought I heard the Minecraft door sound.
Do you see the mouse?
I see the mouse.
The little mouse.
It's a little baby mouse.
Little baby mouse.
If only there was a zoom and enhance cliche.
Enhance. Mouse.
3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
3 3 3 3
3, 3, 3, 3.
3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 333,333 trees.
Mr. Beast's goal.
This was it.
427.
One last chance to
Tree,
win
tree,
the
tree,
bucket over.
tree.
One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Stanley's still very ugly. No offense to anyone who actually looks like Stanley, but
Is it because he doesn't have a
no,
beard?
my type. I mean, that probably would help his case if he had a nice beard.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference.
Nobody
to hear Stanley
came!
speak, to listen to him
It's a
talk about
disappointing
what
orgy.
it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over.
You're just gonna ignore what I
He
just
was
said.
unloved.
It's like a
Uninteresting.
disappointing
He was
orgy,
a
is that what you
failure.
said?
Yeah.
And in that moment,
Nobody
Stanley
came.
knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
Is it really an orgy if no one
There would
comes?
be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket
I
merely
just
sat
got
there in
gallbladder
his arms
surgery. I shouldn't be laughing this
And so it
hard.
began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state
Fuck
the
you,
obvious,
Bucket!
that any sense
Just
of
kick the
real
bucket,
respect
literally
between
kick
them
the
had
bucket.
eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit.
Sag.
Only a
Is a life without
silence
games
that
a life worth
consumed
living?
the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable
Burping
normalcy
fucking
of
hurts.
loneliness.
Loathing.
Oh no. Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Oh no, 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 no.
Oh no 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 no.
Depressing. The bucket. He just said something about the bucket and then it went away.
Huh?
The subtitles. Alright, so one of the hints for the last figurine is somewhere red and blue.
I think I know where it's at.
Okay, well, you need the bucket.
Do I need the bucket?
Yes. You always need the bucket, Vance.
Turn your damn computer off.
The good old
It's like
bucket.
you're like some
Stanley
like
and the
millennial
bucket,
starts playing this
off
game and
on
they're like, why are the
another
computers so
thrilling
fat?
adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I think
But Stanley had felt the
where
bucket
last
calling to him,
figurine
telling him that the
is.
employee lounge
Where the
was
fuck is
simply
he
the
at?
place to
He's
be.
over here.
And here it was.
We're gonna go
Had the
right
bucket
through,
turned out to be
and then
correct?
we're gonna
No,
go over
never mind.
here.
The
And
bucket
we're
was
gonna
wrong.
Go.
Stanley
Fuck
took the door
that
on his
door.
left to go back to
No.
the meeting room.
Juked, motherfucker.
No,
We're gonna go
Said
right
the
here.
bucket.
don't
Get
go
on
to the meeting room.
elevator.
Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
I need you to kill the queen.
Stanley did not question why
I
or
need you to
how
kill
this
the
bucket
queen.
was speaking.
No.
It should have alarmed
That was a
you, of course,
joke.
because
Do not come after
The queen's
me.
already
Stanley
dead. Wait, no,
chose
it
not
wasn't
to
the
think
queen that
about
died. It was
this.
Betty White that died,
It
right?
was Betty
He
White.
was firmly
Okay.
convinced that
Well, the
the
queen is on her way.
bucket-
If Betty White is dead, the queen's on her way, right? That's not mean to say. To be fair, hasn't the queen not been sighted for like months? And people are already saying that she's probably dead?
Probably not. They
No,
would've-
stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets. past
I
this
want
point."
to bring the
Stanley, I
bucket.
think it was okay to bring the bucket here. Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot
I
about
think
your
to get
behavior
the red
up
and
to this
blue ending,
point,
you
which,
didn't.
if that's
you
true,
shouldn't
well,
have had the
my
bucket.
goodness.
Yes.
I'm
I
dumb.
think we
I
have to do
apologize.
something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Step into my sex dungeon.
Step into the dickweed. Is it a bucket? Welcome back to the game show we all know and love.
You'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you
Where
is
archdescents
a bucket.
are laced with a
Simply
shit
now,
ton of
this
LSD
will tell us
and are
everything
supposed to
we'll
make
ever need to
decisions
know
on what a
about
thing is.
Or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
LSD is the one that makes you lose.
Yes.
Okay, I know some stuff about drugs.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Nope, it's a hologram.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Isn't a bucket like determined by like the shape, not what it's made out of? Because there are plastic buckets, right? So
Item 3. Is this a
This
bucket?
a bucket?
I'm gonna say yeah.
No. Not a bucket.
Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
It's a tractor.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
He did
It's
give
an
you
enormous
LSD.
machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
What the fuck?
Yes, it's a bucket.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Trick question. Both.
How is it not a bucket and a bucket? That's fucking dumb. It's not like the
Item-
spork
Wait, hold on,
scenario.
I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true.
Everything's a
Unless-
bucket if you try
Is that
hard
what you
enough.
think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing
Yes,
this.
you're a bucket.
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No!
Okay, here we go.
No bucket?
No.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, Was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Just watch this. This was like an inside joke between the developers that like everything had to be categorized as a bucket or else everything would break.
I'm not a bucket.
That would be
after
funny.
all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person?
Big
All right,
Coco
here we go.
Loco. Mi poco loco. I can't speak Spanish. I don't know the song very well.
It's a fucking Coco, man. Coco.
Put the
All
shoe
of his
upon your head.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Mi
Stanley
amor,
decided
mi
to go to
amor.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Mi
missed a
amor.
memo.
Mi amor.
I'm not grabbing the bucket this time.
Just resist temptation.
Why did that feel like it was a longer hallway?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt it too.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Fuck your
The
employee
lounge was
I don't want
sublime,
it. I
a
want
work of art. But
my red
eager
and
to
blue
get
door.
back to business,
No
Stanley
employee
took the
lounge that
first
I've ever
open
had
door
at any of
he's
my
left.
workplaces have been that nice. You know?
You must not have.
Stanley was so bad at following
No, it was
directions.
always
It's
customer
incredible he
service,
wasn't
like
5
fast food
years
and
ago.
whatnot. Mostly baristaing, and
Look,
usually
Stanley,
the employee
I think
lounge. It
perhaps
wasn't even an
we've
employee
gotten off
lounge.
on
It was
the
literally
wrong
like just a
foot.
closet that you could hang
I'm
out
not
in,
sure
and they would
I
put a chair in there.
really
and you'd sit in.
Closet?
I
Yeah,
realize
like
that
where the
investing
cleaning
your
supplies were.
trust
You'd
in
sit in there for
someone
half an
else
hour and eat your
could be
food.
difficult. But the fact is
That-
that the story has been about
That's a
nothing but
fucking
you
violation. You
all
should
this
probably
It's
not
been
do
years.
Someone
that.
you've been
It's
neglecting,
been years.
Stan.
It's fine.
Someone
You're
you've
not supposed to
forgotten
have
about.
food.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Yes.
that convinced that I want something bad to
Yes,
happen
we
to
died
you?
in how many
Why,
other endings,
I don't know
Vince?
how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something
Fuck
beautiful.
you.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove
Look,
that
a
I'm on
figgy.
your side. Give me a chance. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this
Stiggly
moment,
Wiggly.
Stanley. This is a
Stiggly
real
Wiggly,
accomplishment.
Stiggly Wiggly.
This is doing something just for the sake of doing. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
The pen is blue.
This pen is blue.
So what door are you gonna go into?
Platform 9 3/4.
No, that's not an option.
Red or blue? We'll listen to him.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing
This
right
was a
now.
mistake.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
The
I just-
fucking.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have
Yeah.
a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
I actually feel happy.
Happy. Okay, those blurry balls are really starting to fuck me up.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Now that's cool. Why the hell didn't you put that up top? That shit's freaking me out.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs.
No.
If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Well,
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
I'm
Please,
just
Stanley,
doing
think about
testing
what you're
on
doing.
how durable my ankles are.
Mm-hmm. Fall damage test. You know?
No! Oh, thank God you lived. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
It's just, research.
Stanley, let's go back to the other
He
room.
sounds so sad.
Can you do that for me?
Okay, I'll go back. My ankles are a little fucky.
Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Oh, my eyes. Oh.
Nope, can't do it. Sorry, bud.
Are you walking slower?
Mm-hmm. My ankles are flopped.
Yeah, that's probably why.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Goodbye.
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
I walk faster backwards.
Speedrun strats. Trust fall.
Trust fall.
Is it over? It's going to restart.
You didn't catch me, narrator!
You failed the exercise. The balloons are gone.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's just...
What
it's
the
those
fuck?
figurines, those figures. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner
Fantastic.
richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
When Stanley found all the collectibles.
Now remembering.
Now arriving at collectibles.
Please keep your butt plug in your butt.
What?
Hey, I know that guy. He's famous.
He's in the front of every Pixar movie, right?
He curb stomps I every time.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible.
Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley. And here was a second Stanlerine. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
The toilet.
Was it the toilet?
I'm pretty sure it was the toilet because it was floating above it.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these
That's
moments
how
are so
numbers
crystal
work,
clear in your
narrator.
memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
I mean, I forget the third time I fucked someone, but that's because it happened such a long time ago. Is that bad?
What came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened. This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
This takes me back to like 2006 or 2008. What's that back there? It's like the old Easter egg videos of like, you know, if you play Ocarina of Time and go here, look, there's a hidden chest above the Gerudo Valley Fortress that you can't reach. I think if I presented this in class, I'd probably get like a B-, maybe a C. You know?
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on something else.
You good?
Yes.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the
Sorry.
final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Want to jump up on my lap?
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment.
It's just like, no, I know your
left to do
tricks.
but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone. No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Kitty.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct.
I'm very
and clear
surprised
in
that
my
they
mind.
didn't hide one
Let's
in the
keep
broom
going. I
closet.
want more.
Yeah.
And
Probably
here's
because the
where I made
narrator
that
hates the
video.
broom closet.
Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video. Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
The reward is having to listen to your voice for another half hour.
This was our second Figley. Don't you
Our
remember?
second
Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
Keep going.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this? Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say...
Wow,
I'm
did you
actually
hear
quite
that?
fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions.
Is this
He
the
would decide
lore?
where to go.
The lore of the Stanley Parable?
For no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion. Even
Though
if
you
he
killed
was
us several times.
But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling this story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went
What if
together
you
would be Stanley
went and did the
clutched
cut back
bucket tightly to
ending
his
from
chest
going to
and
the
entered
lounge?
the door on his left.
Where you go the wrong way and then it opens the door and says, "Oh, go back this way to go
This
back."
was not the correct way to the meeting
Is there
room.
something there?
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Was this in the original game?
Yes.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Is this a motherfucking intervention?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
Nope. Fuck
The
off.
bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable.
It's
just
my bucket!
sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game.
Fuck you,
like the
baby!
Adventure Line and the broom closet. Because that's what fans want from
Fuck you,
sequels.
mannequin
They want
man!
more of their
Is a woman.
favorite jokes,
And
not
has
this
tits.
bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I
got
know I'm the one who
breasts.
gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it.
Oh.
Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We
No.
can make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
I'm gonna go to the broom closet.
Does she have nippies?
Yes.
Noise.
Noise.
Noise. Noise.
Fuck you, baby.
It's a cute baby.
Fuck you, keyboard. Wait a minute!
I don't think he says it.
This is mine now.
This is my room. Not my room, I'm playing Minecraft.
No, my Christian Minecraft server. Nope. I don't want to follow that fucking line. Don't want to do it.
Are you afraid something might happen to your bucket?
Yes.
It's okay, we'll get through this together.
It's my bucket!
It's technically Stanley's bucket.
It's my bucket. I am Stanley.
I thought you were Jim.
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 Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Nope. I'm not giving up my bucket.
Vance, I don't think there's anything else. I think you just have to bite the bullet. Bite the bucket, as it were. It's okay, we're here for you.
One last private time.
One last intimate
Don't
moment
you
with the
get it,
bucket.
Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its
You're not even gonna
singular
try to give it up?
personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
No. Is this Halo?
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Where's your bucket?
Bucket?
I just give you such a
How
concept.
long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered.
What the fuck is going on with these computers?
Days?
It is over there.
Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
They're all on. Oh, thank God, Bucket.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You haven't done the
Still no one was
the
here.
ending where it takes you
Stanley
up the lift
needed
and
the
you go
bucket's
fully
warmth
through
and
the
comfort
lift.
now more than ever. Perhaps his
You also
boss's
haven't done the
office was
unplug
where
ending.
he'd find answers.
Unplug ending.
Did you even do that in the original?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
Because I
office.
think you've done all the routes on this path.
Have I?
Except for the trap ending where you back up as the doors are closing. So just try to close the door, walk in, and then back up as quickly as possible. I didn't know it was this finicky. Do you have to hit E?
Stepping in.
There you go. Now you just continue down. I don't know if you go this way or if you go down the stairs. I don't remember. The game suddenly turns into like a slightly horror game without the narrator.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. What am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to keep going up.
Except I'm going on the same floor.
You just walk backwards, I think. Oh.
Bucket, it's time for you to escape. I love you. I know. I know. It'll be okay.
I love you, Bucket. You will never have to suffer the horrors of this world.
Escape. Goodbye, Bucket. I will always remember you. What the fuck just happened? Was that like a fever dream? Like, what the hell's going on?
I mean, that's kind of... This whole game is a fever dream, Vance. You just kind of gotta accept it.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
There's no bucket.
No.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You've taken the bucket. You've taken my bird and my
This
bucket.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
What are you doing?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Did you just assume the bucket's gender, you
This is it,
shitlord?
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
I'd love to put the
She's
bucket
been
back in my
waiting.
life.
Bucket.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits.
Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I'm a real boy. I'm a real
I
boy.
can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process.
Back, sack, and crack?
Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside.
No, that makes the feelings worse.
At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
What the fuck?
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse.
I just charged them.
Fortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
I need to buy new fucking batteries because they can take 4 batteries apiece, but they only came with 2 apiece.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
So, if you were one of my D&D players, you would take the door on the right.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps
What the fuck is going on with the filing cabinet? That guy's in the wall.
It's going to an alternate dimension.
What the fuck is going on over here?
He told you to walk away from it before it gets worse.
If I turn away from it and turn back, does it change?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's ruined.
It's
I can't
okay.
believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge.
I wonder.
I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever.
Fuck.
I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know.
Damn
What's
it.
the answer? What do I do? What
Hardcore
do I do?
parkour.
What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the
I
game
had
down.
it!
I have to. I have to.
Don't fucking do it. God damn it. Aliens?
Sigourney Weaver, is that you?
Weaver Gorney?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had
Don't
it?
you swear
There's
at
a world
me!
outside of you. You're
You
a child.
fucking cunt.
I paid money for this game.
My story.
I mean, you paid money for it. But
If you'd
whatever.
just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley
He's
would.
gonna do the same
That
thing.
means choosing responsibly
Fine, I'll
and
go to your
always
fucking
putting the
left-hand
story
door.
first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He entered the wall in the center.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I don't think this was correct.
Coming
Going to a staircase, Stanley walked
maybe it
upstairs to
was.
his boss's office.
This looks different.
Hello?
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions.
Oh, no.
And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the
Night
receiver
Shark
right there on the wall.
115.
NIGHTSHARK 115.
Night Shark 115.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
I'm sorry, I'm a mute.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
What?
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot be
What?
without you. Do you
I think it'd be
understand
different
me?
if you bought the
Whatever
bucket up
choice
here.
you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something.
Well,
Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this.
that was Stanley Parable.
So,
I think you missed one ending,
are you there?
which was the bucket unplug ending.
Okay.
Judy.
It's okay. I can wait.
Oh, and the wife ending with the bucket.
Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
Looks like he's talking into a toilet bowl.
Take as much
Or it
time
sounds like he's talking into a toilet bowl. Is the bucket there?
Let's check.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Yes!
Perhaps he had
Replacement
simply missed a
bucket.
memo. And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Oh.
Stanley clutched the bucket.
We're gonna ruin your
tightly to
story
his
just for
chest
saying that.
and entered the door.
Fuck
on
your
his
story,
left. This was not the
bitch.
correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Let's go, bucket boy.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk.
It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it, but there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be
More than
used
5
to
minutes.
effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny."
I'm done it with the funny!
I'm Dunny with the funny now.
I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally,
characters look
it's
high.
time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to
Well, they're in
grow or
extreme
learn as a
liver
comedian.
failure. Look at how yellow
An
they are.
effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted
Why does he have
several
3 hands?
times. Just to ensure the survey taker is actually
One's
paying
gonna
attention
hands.
jerk
and not
off.
simply filling in answers at
Well, you
random.
can always be pleasuring
And
your
that's all
butthole
there
and
is.
the 2 for
With
whatever
these
else you need
strategies
it for.
at your disposal,
Now I
your
got one couple
audience is
balls,
doubled over
one
in
jerk
laughter
off,
and
one
even
fucking
tripled over in
ball.
laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles.
Leg.
All of us must be prepared to give our
Oh.
lives to this
Ooh la
noble
la.
cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
I don't know.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the 2 doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
My bucket don't jiggle.
It folds.
But your bucket does jiggle.
I can feel
My
it.
bucket don't
This
jiggle,
time,
jiggle.
I'm
It
really going to
folds.
nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches.
like to see
A
me
talking
wiggle, wiggle.
bucket, you'll
For
say, how
show.
ridiculous, how absurd, what a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Buggle, buggle, jiggle, jiggle. For show. Excuse me. My bucket.
This would be a hell of a Gmod map for hide
Here
and
we
seek.
go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket
Oh,
came
I'm
to a
sure
set of
somebody
two
can
open
do it.
doors, they entered the door on the left.
Because this isn't made in Source anymore.
It's in Unity.
This is in Unity.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
The one on the right, you said?
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Ow.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame?
You're trying too hard, bud.
What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so mental. I think I saw it playing guitar.
What?
No.
Bucket is
Get
so
away from
metal.
making fun of Stanley's obsession
No.
with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes.
No, you're
I
not.
need more instructional videos.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
And now you just need to go meet your wife with the bucket and not unplug the phone.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good, said the
Where's this
bucket.
game at save
Now
states
ride the
where
lift
you could
all the
just
way to the top.
go right to
There's
where
something
the
up
ending
there I
want
need you to
was,
do.
You know?
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
Said the bucket.
pick up the Hello.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Hi, Bucket. What is inside of you?
A black hole.
No, that looks like a juice thing.
Oh, that makes sense because your private time before you sent the bucket away. I think you need to pick it up.
Let's go to work, Stanley.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection, that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Oh no. He's trying to take over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's
bucket.
literally just a bucket.
It's
a
just a
Why do I
bucket.
feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
I mean, you designed it, bucko.
Oh no. I'm having feelings
Oh no.
for the bucket.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, yes, Bucket.
No!
I knew this would happen.
Do anything it
I
asks.
knew the
What's
day
wrong
would
with me? I
come.
don't understand. Perhaps if I had
Oh, yes, baby.
less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Let's have a deadly fire hazard.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to
Fuck
me. Give
you.
me the bucket,
It's my
Stanley.
bucket.
I need it.
We are currently fucking.
Give it, or I'll...
We are currently fucking. You are not taking it away from me.
No.
I want my bucket.
Fuck you. It's my bucket.
Well, I think that's all the
I
endings.
can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I need my bucket.
What's your plan?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh, right. We
Still
haven't
no
done
one
the
was
good
here.
ending.
Stanley needed the bucket's
the bucket.
warmth and comfort now
We did the
more
bad
than
ending with the bucket, but we didn't
Perhaps
do the
his
good
boss's
ending.
office. Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
I can't
Was
bend
it
over to
the
pick you up. I
bucket
just had
moved
surgery.
along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This
When
is
she lays on the
certainly
floor, I
most
can't pet her
logical
anymore because I'm not allowed to
explanation.
bend over because of my surgery. It hurts. Finish this off with the good ending.
We've already done the one with the birds.
No, that's the bad ending. We need the good ending, where we shut off the mind control machine.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read
I don't think we've done this
Mind
in
Control
with the bucket.
Facility.
No, I don't think so either.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Waiting for the bucket to say, "I'm a potato." Get it? Because you haven't played Portal, right?
I've played
Portal 2?
yes.
Oh.
I'm assuming that's the turrets. That
As
you're
the
talking
machine
about.
whirred
No,
into motion,
GLaDOS
Stanley and the
gets
bucket
turned
inched
into a
closer
potato
to
at
their
one point, and you
demise.
carry her
Stanley
around.
reflected on
Oh,
how
yes.
meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned
The
out
way
to
you
be.
said it, though, you
To be sure,
you said
it
it
puts
kind of
the
like one of
mind and the
turrets.
soul at ease
Yeah.
to embrace
I'm a
the bucket.
potato.
But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed.
But just fuck
violently
Stanley.
to
Stanley
death.
doesn't matter at this point. It was only the bucket they care about.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold. Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more
Okay, that's
noble
more
than
than 25
Stanley will
buckets.
ever be in his short life? No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
You motherfucker.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander.
No. Oh.
She told me not to restart the game.
So now,
How
the
long
good
was I
ending.
sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
It's so
Was
fucking
the
dark
bucket
in this game.
guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room
Don't
packed
fall
with
off this time.
television screens. What horrible secret did
staying
this
away
place
from that
hold?
chair.
Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
That originally was an accident in the original game, but they left it in.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
That one. is
Everyone
fucked
in
up.
the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Pirate?
I don't fucking know.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Yes, the bucket is our savior.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie.
Stanley wants to spread COVID everywhere on Earth.
Halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Looks different.
Does look different.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I don't know if this is like a different ending or something.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Did I do this ending with the bucket last
Yeah,
time?
you did. Yeah.
Stepping into
I think
his
you've
manager's
gotten all the
office,
endings, babe.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an
Except for the
indication
fucking
of
office
any
is
human
different.
life.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crushed
I
by
think
the
they
weight
just
of this
do that every once in
revelation,
a while to switch
Stanley
things
may
up.
have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for
Alright,
the soothing
guys.
presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding
I'm
light
gonna end the
pierce
stream.
the dark clouds of confusion and
Y'all have a
chaos.
wonderful
It
day.
would be with him.
Bye-bye.
We will see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.